Hey guys, today I'm back with a new haul. I have all the figures from the Resistance ps3 games here. So far there are 4 from the main series, and there is also the exclusive one back here. Let's go ahead and dig right into what we're looking at though. So from what I can tell so far is that there's only been one wave of these. It kind of sucks that we never got any more. I would have liked to have seen what other Chimera would have been implemented as figures. Would have been nice to see a chameleon or, you know, just any of the other Chimera. But yeah, here we have the Ravager. He is he's kind of big, he's got a bit of weight to him. Now I've actually just got these ones sealed because I got into collecting certain figures sealed and I decided to get these. But I actually used to have all 4 of these whenever they first came out, and I took them out of their packages so I can give you a little bit of a detailed breakdown on how they were. This figure only comes with his shield accessory without the shield though. Unfortunately, he does not come with the big gun that he used. I don't know the name of that gun that they used, but I remember they also used to use a form of like Chimera minigun. So it does not come with either of those 2 weapons. Kind of unfortunate, because I would have liked to have had them come with a weapon of some kind. Luckily all the other ones do. The bottom part of the legs down here, if I remember, these were actually hollow feeling. But the foot down there was on a ball joint, it seemed like. The knees do move along with the elbows, and the upper arms also move. I don't think his waist moved. I think it might have had a little bit of a swivel to it maybe, but nothing really else. And then the head also moves as well. The hoses were all made out of rubber. And now the back actually does have interesting designs on these Chimera figures, because it is kind of like the shoulder here where it looks as if their backs are burning, which makes sense since their metabolism is supposed to be like 12 times that of a human. Here is the back of the packaging. So it gives you a little bit of a breakdown on what is going on there, and then you get to see the other figures included with the series. Like I said, it was kind of unfortunate that we never got any more. So now we'll take a look at the next one, and the next one is actually one of my favorites, and I'll give you a big reason for that. First of all, I really like the steel heads. Always thought they were really cool. Pretty tall characters. This figure is pretty light. It's got a teeny bit of weight to it, but nowhere near as much as the last figure. The biggest reason I like this figure though is for that gun right there. I love the auger. That's like my favorite gun in the whole Resistance series. If I remember correctly, the whole figure was pretty solid. There's no real hollow areas on it. The tubing, the red tubing that runs up to the back was rubber. Those could actually easily snap, along with the black tubing up there on the head. Those are solid plastic and not rubber. And whenever I had this figure a long time ago, whenever it first came out, those were actually the first things to break on the figure, because if you turn the head too far left or right, they will snap off from the head. And it is really unfortunate that it is like that, but what are you gonna do? So same as the other figure with articulation, head, elbow, knees, and I think the foot, yeah, the foot also all move. They all have movement. Except the difference with this one is the hands, both of them can move, and up here in the upper arms, those can rotate a little bit as well. Very nice figure, and I think the hand on this one right here can move on the left side only. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, very nice. Unfortunately, the package for this one is a little bit damaged, but it is still sealed and there's no opening or anything like that. I need to get some Goo Gone to get that label off there. I guess the last person that owned them must have got them somewhere where they had price tags or something on them right there. Let's take a look at the next one here. We have the Advanced Hybrid. Pretty nice figure here. Comes with a bullseye, which is not really a bad gun at all. I kind of prefer the Mark II just because it mainly shoots blue, and I like blue more than that orangey color that it shoots, but it's also a little bit stronger of a gun. So the detail here is pretty good. So is the paint work. Very nice, very nice. I have all the little armor bits on there. And I was kind of surprised that they went with the Advanced Hybrid instead of releasing the regular hybrids first. But I'm glad that they went with the Advanced Hybrid because this one just looks more menacing than the regular. Oh yeah, the sides of these boxes also all have Advanced Hybrid artwork on the side, while the other side is empty. You can see right through it. So this figure with movement is actually the exact same as the steelhead. All those areas mentioned move. And if I remember correctly, the heat stacks on the back here, those were kind of like a harder rubber material, but if you are not careful, those will snap off. And if you leave it in a position where it's leaning up against something and too much weight is being pushed on it, then those heat stacks will kind of get stuck in that position, and that will be unfortunate because it'll look bad and you'll have to use a heat gun to try to get that back to normal. Well, next we have Nathan Hale with his Swarmer buddy. And the interesting thing about that is I don't remember these being called Swarmers ever in the game. They were always referred to as Leapers. Hold on a second. Okay, back to where I was. Okay, so yeah, this part right here, the Swarmer, as I was saying, I've never seen it referred to as a Swarmer before. It was always referred to as a Leaper, so I'm just going to call it a Leaper. Okay, another thing I noticed, and this is something that I noticed on the figure a really long time ago, is you can kind of see those two holes in between the two big teeth right there. For some reason, these figures, these Leapers, are missing their two small front teeth. I don't know why. It's kind of just an empty little hole where it looks like they were going to make smaller teeth to glue in there, and they just never did it. I don't know the reason behind that, and I'd kind of like to know. So if I ever got a hold of the person that sculpted these, or whoever's in charge of doing these figures, I'd kind of like to know the reason behind not including those two teeth and why it's just empty, two little holes right there. Anyways, the legs connecting into the body at the very top move. There is not really any other movement with the Leaper besides the legs barely moving. The tail is made out of a rubbery-like material, and funny enough, if the tail comes off, the inside of it is actually red. So there's that. And here we have hail included with a bullseye. Looks like a Mark 1. I say that because the 3 little red dots right there, I think the Mark II had blue. The hose by his neck is, if I remember correctly, it's that rubbery like material. But while I've had this figure whenever I was little, I never had anything on this figure break, so this one is actually pretty well made right here. His uniform looks just like how it does in the game, so very accurate there. All these figures are actually surprisingly accurate though. His face kind of looks like Hale's, but not too much. It's just, it seems off just a little bit. I think the thing that really would have brought out the detail is maybe making his eyes a little bit gold, like they were in the games. I think, hold on a sec. Actually, I think they are gold, it's just hard to see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see it, but they have like a teeny tiny bit of gold around the pupils, so yeah, okay, that looks good actually. I don't know, this is a good figure right here. I forgot to mention that they all have stands with them too. I don't remember the Ravager does though. But yeah, the Ravager has the stand too. Because otherwise, some of these figures actually have a little bit of trouble standing up. Some of them are a little bit top heavy. If I remember correctly, it was the Advanced Hybrid and the Ravager for sure would flop over all the time without having that. Okay. Last little figure right here comes in this PlayStation 3 Resistance 2 Special Edition box with some nice little artwork on it. I know it says $69 on it, but I assure you I did not pick this up for $69. I actually just got this on eBay for about like 10 bucks. Whoever had it just wanted to get rid of it. And lucky for me, because I love the Resistance games. Here we have Resistance 2. And unfortunately, whenever I got it, the back of the box was already kind of off. So I don't know about that, but I'm lucky I have it so I can staple it back in place or something. This one does not have a hangy bit, but whatever. I think this figure is, it only comes with the special edition boxes, but surprisingly these are actually pretty cheap on eBay. And looking at it, this actually looks like the design from the first Resistance. The reason I say that is because the tubing, come on, focus. The tubing on the legs, Resistance 2 didn't have the tubing on the legs for the regular hybrids. I mean, this is a good looking figure, and yeah, it looks more like the Resistance 1 style hybrid, except for the heat stacks. These heat stacks look Resistance 2. So it's kind of like a combination of the both, it seems like. My only real complaint with this figure is lack of movement. It is stuck in this pose. It cannot really move. The legs can move a little bit, and the arms you can move up and down to pose it with the gun. And the head also moves a little bit. But besides that, it is just kind of a statue. It doesn't move at all. It is still really nice looking. Also, the hoses snap really, really easily, so you gotta be careful about that. Oh, and another reason I say this is Resistance 1 style is because they don't have the hoses, actually. The regular hybrids don't have the hoses, especially the ones that go down into the arms. You can probably argue with that all you want, but as someone who played Resistance 2 a hell of a lot because it was their favorite game growing up, I am quite sure that they did not have the hoses. Eat it. Okay. This actually included everything that came with the special edition box, except for the game, unfortunately. So it even came with this skin for the Wraith that makes it into the gun that the Ravengers use. And yeah, I'm not going to show that code because it's not used and it is mine for whenever I use it. Next there is this bonus disc. Nice artwork on here. And you know, funny enough, I actually did a painting of this a really long time ago. I still have the painting in my closet actually, but it is this exact photo. So yeah, I don't know what exactly is on here because I haven't looked at it yet. Behind the scenes DVD, Resistance timeline video, sneak peek at Resistance the Gathering Storm. If I remember correctly, that is the book, the novel, and I have that actually. Pretty good read, but I never finished it because I was pretty young whenever that came out. I was in like 5th grade. I wasn't really into reading that much. Copy of issue 0, the upcoming Resistance comic book series. You know, that I actually never heard of actually. So I need to look into that and see about that. And then the in-game, yeah, that's the thing that I just showed you, the Wraith skin. So yeah, real cool. Put that back in the box. And next is this sweet art book. And there's one thing about me, I love my art books. I even have the Killzone 3 art book because why not? One of the biggest things on my channel is Killzone stuff, besides the Pokemon stuff. Those are like the biggest things on my channel. Yeah, very neat art cover from the second game. I will go ahead and show you all the inside of this. If you become interested in buying this, go for it. This book is about like $10 online. There's the inside. So it's mostly just pictures from some of the levels, and I think later on it gets into the Chimera artwork. So I love how it goes by the chapters of the game too. Real nice. Hey look, that actually looks like Chicago nowadays. Wow, the resemblance is really there. Sorry, I had to poke fun at Chicago. The other thing I like about this game is this one shows locations in America that aren't very, like, I would have never known about them without this game, like Cocodrie, Louisiana. Yeah, I would have never known that town even existed. Same with Ulrich, California. Yeah. Here's where it kind of flips around. Yeah, this book is a little bit weird as it flips around once you get to the character models. There is the Sentinel team, and funny enough, I think that's supposed to be Capelli right there, and he's got facial hair, but in game he does not have facial hair, but these are art concepts after all. Here is the Chimera, and there's a leech for any of you that always wanted to see what a leech looked like and never got a chance to see it. Very nice artwork. Here we get to the guns. You know, one thing I never liked about this game though, and it always kind of baffled me, is the 2-weapon carry limit. Always thought that sucked. They should have kept the weapon wheel. And, oh, I want to point out another thing. I've been watching some Let's Plays, and people seem to they seem to crap on the splicer a lot. And let me tell you one thing, the splicer is probably one of the strongest guns in the game. If you hold down the secondary weapon button, and you charge up that shot for a little bit, and you fling it at a Titan, that one saw blade that you just threw at it will kill it. Go try it out in the game. I'm not kidding you. One shot charged with the splicer will one shot kill a Titan. People say this gun sucks, and it does not. This thing, if you hold down the button and charge up the blade where it's spinning, and then you shoot it at something, it's, depending on what it is, it will kill it in one shot. I never tried it on the Marauder, or you can't try it on Daedalus, or any of the other bosses, I really think. But anything that's not a boss, and I also don't know about the shield drones actually, but anything that's not a boss or a Fury, you can one-shot it with this gun. So yeah, the Splicer is probably the strongest gun in the game. I just want to point that out because everyone seems to crap on that gun a lot. There is the Leviathan. Oh, look. Yeah. I was gonna make another Chicago joke, but you know what? I don't think I want those people coming after me just because I don't want to deal with that stuff. Kraken, very cool. With the third game, you get to see a little bit of a Kraken that is dead, and it always kind of made me wonder, like, so throughout the entire third game, you go through it, you only see some frozen Furies at the end of one of the New York levels. It's like right before you do the terraforming mission. Throughout the game, on one of the levels you travel through a river, you don't see any Furies swimming in the water, and you see a dead Kraken. Where are all the Furies, and why weren't there any more smaller Krakens or anything on the river? Just kind of doesn't make sense, especially since the Mississippi has some parts where it's really deep too. There's this. Very cool, very cool. And that is the end. Very nice book. Pick one up for yourselves if you're a fan of this game. You will like the art book a lot. It's nice. And let's see here. I'll get a look at the back of this right here. That is what the game would look like, the game case, if you bought this. And I do like that game case. It looks pretty nice. So there's a look at all the Resistance figures right here. And like I said, it's a shame that we never got any more of these. I would have liked to have seen a Series 2 or even 3 with more Chimera. Maybe other characters like Capelli and Blake and all that, or even the Chimera. They're probably the biggest things that you want from this kind of series. The Chameleons, Leeches, Grims, all that. It'd be cool to see some boss figures too, like the Kraken and Marauder. You know, they'd probably have to be scaled way down, but even just having those would be cool. Even a Goliath would be really nice, but I don't think we'll probably be getting any more Resistance figures ever. This game series kind of seems forgotten, kind of like Killzone, so unfortunate. This is probably a dead series right here. The only thing we can do is go back and play the 3 mainline games and its 2 spin-offs, and hope that eventually maybe this series gets picked up again and we can have more fun with it. But until then, anyways, thanks for watching the video.